is even happening here? My balls are befuddled. Or am I befuddled because of my balls? Something to think about. Oh, come on. Oh, yay. Got it. All right. Well, there you go. Hi, everyone. I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some yarn dyeing that I did, and I did it again. I always forget to tell you guys where I'm from. I am here in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and strangely, it's actually kind of warm again. It got really cold for a week, and now it's warm. So I had to change tops earlier because I was roasting. But anyway, weather aside, I'm going to talk to you about some dyeing, because actually the weather was really, really nice, and I was able to put my yarn to dry outside. And I did put that little mini video a few days ago. I hope you saw it. It was so fun. I totally did not mean to dye as much yarn as I did. I really meant to dye 4 skeins, and it ended up being 22 skeins. Mostly because I don't want to keep extra dye just lying around, or dye stock. And I made way too much of the blue that I wanted to use. So I was like, well, okay, let's just dye some stuff. And I ended up actually adding a lot of gray to some of it so that I could dye up a sweater's quantity of worsted weight. So here is the dry yarns. This one was the taupey grayish brown that I had used the jacquard. Geez, mind blanking. The jacquard silver gray, and then a little bit of the brown from the Wilton's food coloring. So I was able to get a really pretty taupey color, almost bordering on a little bit of a rose. Just, I don't know, it's a very interesting color, and it's so pretty. I got 2 of these. This was superwash merino, I think 60%, and then 20% alpaca and 20% nylon. Super pretty, and I think I want to do, since I do have 2 skeins of that, I want to make the lace eater shawl. So pretty. That's why I wanted to go for something more solid rather than some of the wild colors that I've been dyeing. I wanted something a little more tonal and closer to solid, because I wanted to make that shawl, and it's got a lot of cables and textured stitches on there. So super pretty. I'm so excited to be able to make that soon with a color that I just fell in love with. Then I did this other one. I did 4 skeins of this. This is also the same yarn base with a merino, alpaca, and nylon. And these ones, all 4 of them became very, it was all kettle dyed, so very tonal, lots and lots of different contrasting colors, or contrasting, not contrasting, that's not really the word, right? Probably more like just different shades or depths of the same color. So I got 4 of these, and I actually only meant to do 2, but because I had all of that extra dye, I was trying to get the other 2 to be paler, but they really came out, because I had so much dye, they came out looking exactly the same. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make with this yet, but I'm thinking that I want to do, there's a shawl that I bought ages and ages ago that I didn't know what I was going to use to make it, because it requires a lot of yarn. It's called the Box of Rain wrap, I think. And I think it actually asks for 2 colors, but I'm going to just use all 4 of these. It's super pretty, and you know, it kind of works out. Rain, blue, there you go. So when the water did start to finally clear, I threw in some of this superwash merino and nylon sock yarn. I've got 2 of these, and I think that I want to make something. I don't remember offhand, but I will put it here like the other ones. But it'll be another shawl. Super pretty pale colors. So apparently I thought I was Picasso and I was in a blue mood, or I was having my blue period. That sounds weird. Having my blue period. Never mind. Anyways, so I got 2 of these, and then I still had, like, I had reserved a bunch of the blue because I knew I had so much I was going to want to do the sweater quantity, and I added a bunch of gray to that blue. And I actually originally wanted to go for something paler, but I'm so glad that this came out just the shade that it did, because it's so pretty. Beautiful. And this is going to be a cardigan, and it's got a lot of subtle texture stitches that I thought would go better with a tonal. It's so pretty. It's like, is it gray? Is it blue? Almost a little bit greenish in some places. It's just, it's so pretty. I am so in love, and I'm super pleased with it. So fun. I couldn't be happier. None of these came out exactly like I thought, but I'm in love with all of them. So super excited. And like I showed you in my video, the thing that I had them all hanging on, I'm pointing this way because there's my window to my backyard. The thing that I had them hanging on, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's the shelving for a closet. It's like a wire rack kind of. Apparently there was an extra one laying around when we moved into this house. It was in the garage, and I had found a trick on one of the Chemknits. Has a Facebook page for all the yarn dyeing shenanigans that she's been doing, and she encourages everyone to post their pictures of things that they've dyed. And I saw somebody post a picture of them using shower curtain rings to hold their skeins to keep them neat so they don't get all tangled. And I thought that was a really good idea. So I had gone to the dollar store and I bought a bunch of plastic shower curtains, and I thought, it's perfect. I can use those to hang on the wire of the shelving and just stand it up. So it worked out perfectly, just hanging it out there, or leaning it up kind of against the tree back there, and all of the yarn was in the fresh air, dried beautifully. I did make a comment about it being out of the direct sunlight because I didn't want it to get bleached out by the sun. And I had also posted it on that Facebook page for Chemknits. It's the Chemknits Lab, I believe. It is what it's called. But anyway, one of the other members of the group had mentioned that she never had any problem with the sun leaching out any of the color, but she'd also heard other stories of other people who had. So I'm glad that I did take the precaution, because you know, I really wouldn't want to dye 14 skeins of a yarn and then have it turn all weird. And it was really pretty to just see it there. You know, you just kind of look and there it is. And it's like, oh, it's beautiful. So I had a really good time dyeing tons and tons of yarn. And I really need to get better about wearing gloves because my fingers are blue again. It's not as bad this time, but they're kind of blue. I look like I'm on, oh, you can see better there. But it's uniform, so you know what? I meant to do that. Just put some clear polish over and be like, I meant to do that. So while we're still on yarn, I had ordered a while back a skein of yarn from Raspberry Dye Works because I had heard, and I can't remember which podcast I had heard about her from. I can't remember. I've been watching so many lately, so I'm lost. But I went to her website because there was actually a particular skein that I wanted, but she didn't have that color anymore. And so I was just clicking through and I found this one and I fell in love. Again, blue. I don't know what it is about blue lately. For a while there, I was on a pink kick. Usually it's about grays and purples and greens, but I've been on blue lately. So anyway, this is Raspberry Dye Works. And this is colorway called Ripped Jeans. And this is the strawberry base. It's really cute. All her bases are fruit names. I thought it was really, really cool. But this is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And it's got a lot of glitter in there. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Super pretty. I don't know what this is going to be, but I'm thinking something like a cowl or a small shawlette to wear it kerchief style, just because you can't, there's no way I want to hide all that glitter. So pretty. And she also included, and I haven't eaten any of them yet, but she included 2 little candies, and I'm assuming they're raspberry flavored because it's Raspberry Dye Works. They kind of look like raspberries too, so super, super cute. And she's got her card, and this is another one that it's kind of like the Lucky Violet company. They came in the mesh bags. I really like these. They're really, really cute. Really like it. But her card is, hold on, let me get my hand back in there. This is her card, and it's kind of bent. It looks just like the yarn label, but on the back side is all her information, in case you want that. So there you go. That is all about yarn. So let's get into projects. Whips. I've got actually quite a few whips because I got start-itis and I really, really needed to cast on some things. Just because I'm still in the middle of working my bee socks, and I'm not even going to pull that out because, well, actually I am. I only got a few stripes done on the second sock. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I talked a lot about it when I was working on the first sock that took me a lifetime and a half to finish. And I did go ahead and write up my notes on that one, and I passed them on to my friend who is test knitting them for me. So we'll see how that goes. I did pull out my 3-color cashmere cowl. I am not to the 3rd color yet. So far it's just 2. But this is where I was last time, so I actually got quite a bit done. I started the small striping, so this is actually going to go a little bit faster, I think, because now I don't have to count and do the eyelets. Not that that was difficult or anything, but you know, it kind of does slow you down, and this way I can just go round and round and round and just switch colors every now and then. But so I got a little bit done on that. That is very exciting. I also talked a while back about some yarns that I overdyed. A few weeks ago I went on an overdying kick, and I had overdyed the Pickle Juice colorway in black, and I overdyed a very pale minty green and light gray variegated yarn in some food coloring, and I ended up with this yarn. And I had said I really wanted to pair these together for something crazy. And after that video, my daughter chimed in the comments and said that she wanted something, she wanted a cowl with these 2 colors. She really liked them. And I was very excited by that because usually for her it's grays or blacks, and she jumped on these 2 colors, and I'm like, that's going to be fun to make her something that's brighter and different. So I went searching, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and I thought, I saw a pattern for a cowl, and I thought this is going to be perfect because it's going to be reversible, and it's brioche. It's 2-color brioche, and we all know that it's not my favorite technique, but I'm going to make her this cowl, and I can't pronounce it, so I'm just going to put it here with a picture of what, you know, with the picture that's on the Ravelry page. But I think I'm going to do that, and I don't quite know that I have enough yarn, enough yardage for the adult size, because it comes in an adult size and a child size. So what I decided to do, I looked really closely at the pattern, and the chart is what I wanted, because I wasn't sure I was going to have enough to make it as tall as what it says. So I was trying to figure out a way to make it smaller without losing a lot of the detail, and it turns out that I can use the stitch count for the adult size cowl, but use the chart instructions for the child size. So it'll be a little bit narrower, and I should have plenty of yarn for that. So I'm super excited, and I did cast that on my cheap eBay bamboo circulars 16-inch. So I did cast it on, and it doesn't look like much now. You can't really see anything because, you know, brioche really doesn't show itself until it's gotten further along. Let me move my... So right now it just kind of looks like a mess, but as it gets further along, I think it's going to look really, really cool. So that's the beginnings of something exciting. And then, okay, so this new cast on was born out of anxiety. I do tend to have my bouts of anxiety, and sometimes it's worse than other times. You know, as it does, that's the way the anxiety works. Sometimes it just kind of makes you feel not so happy, and other times it's very debilitating and overwhelming. And this wasn't that case for me, but it was a little bit more to where I just had like butterflies in my stomach, and I was a little bit nervous, and it was mostly because I was feeling anxious about people. I think I've mentioned it before, I'm very much an introvert, and I knew that it was coming up for me to have to go to my son's school and do a short 30-second clip video recording that was going to go into like a montage video for all of the senior football players, since it's their last year, and every year the football team has a banquet. And, you know, there's a lot of tribute given to the seniors that are, you know, it's their last year and blah, blah, blah. So all the parents are encouraged to go and do a 30-second clip to be put into this montage. And, you know, there's that big part of me, that proud part, that mom part, that was like, I'm going to do this for my son. I'm going to tell him how much I love him, and it's going to be exciting. But then there was that other part of me that was like, ugh. You're going to go talk to people that I've met years ago, and I don't talk to them very often. I'm not one of those sports moms that interacts with all the other sports moms. I'm just not. I'm very much a stay-at-home, stay-to-myself kind of person, and I know sometimes that comes off to other people as like I don't like them, or I don't want to be around them. It's really, I need to be alone most of the time, and I'm very much a homebody, and it gives me a lot of times anxiety to go out and do stuff with people. So anyway, that's what I was feeling anxious about, because not only was I going to have to go interact with people, I was going to have to sit and talk in front of a camera in front of people. It's one thing to do it here in my home, in my bedroom, with the door closed, by myself. So it was nerve-wracking, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. I was up all night. I didn't go to bed until about 2 in the morning, and even then I wasn't sleepy. It was more, I had to, because I had to be up at 7 in the morning because I had to take my son to go take his ACT test. And right after that, I was going to go record the clip, and so I needed to get to bed. Otherwise, I was going to wake up with puffy eyes, and so I forced myself to lay down, and I put on some sleep sounds and stuff like that. But before that, I couldn't sleep. So I pulled out some yarn and sat there and stared at it for quite a while, and I couldn't think of what I wanted to do with it, even though when I dyed these yarns, I dyed them with the intention of using them together. And I showed these before. These were some yarns that I dyed a while back with powdered drink mix. And it was 3 different flavors. It was the orange, a blue raspberry, and I think like a strawberry flavor. And each of these 4 skeins has all 3 colors, just in different proportions. So I knew I was going to use them all together, but then after I dyed them, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with them. So they sat for a few months, and so last night I pulled them out and I just sat and stared, and I ended up deciding to wing it and just make a rectangular shawl worked from, you know, this way. So it's kind of like making I'm working it this way, but it's going to be worn like this, like across, if that makes any sense. But so this is what I've started, and I've just been kind of winging it. And the colors actually aren't as wild as I thought. Kind of looks like summery colors to me. It actually makes me think of sherbet. Jeez, April. So very, very excited. So that's what I did till 2 in the morning, was coming up with this, playing with it back and forth, and finally deciding on what I wanted. And actually, this is the first time I'm seeing it held up, and I think I was worried about it wasn't going to be wide enough this way. But it looks like it's going to be a good size down my back this way. Now I just got to make the length of it. So we'll see what I come up with. Right now I'm just kind of being random about the colors and stuff, and about the color placement. I'm just kind of throwing them wherever, and that's what I did because I was nervous and a little bit of anxiety overtook me. So I played with brightly colored yarns. So moving on from that, I think that is all of the knitting and yarn stuff that I've got to talk about right now. Because I've been doing things here and there and everywhere, and haven't really focused on any one thing this week. Except for, and this is thanks to my daughter, I think I posted it on Instagram. It's a game that, an app for my phone called Rami's Gauntlet. And I don't know if any of you have ever played way back. It was called Chip's Challenge, and it was a PC game. I loved that game. Me and my kids played it so much. We loved it so much. We had so much fun playing it. And then it kind of went by the wayside, and it was gone. And it was like, oh man, remember that game? Well, my daughter texted me the other day and said, here, try this game. You're going to love it. And I was like, oh, okay, what's this? I opened it up, and oh my God, it's almost exactly like Chip's Challenge. It was so exciting to me. I was like, yee! So yeah, I've been playing that a lot. I think I'm on, like, I was going to say episode. I'm on level 38 now. It's so fun. I'm just addicted, and I'm like, oh, I haven't played this in a few minutes. Let's do that again. So that's been very distracting for me, and yeah, I haven't been getting a whole lot of knitting done. I don't know if you've noticed. I have glasses on today. I finally had to break down and say that readers are not enough. So I went, and sure enough, I needed a prescription for distance when I'm driving, and then of course the up close, because I can't, even reading is getting difficult. It was mostly just knitting at first, and I don't know why that is, but reading was okay, but now even that is starting to be difficult. So I needed something for this and the distance, and you know, it ended up that I got the progressive lenses. Those are a challenge to get used to. The first couple of days I was very nauseous, I felt like everything was just moving, and I tend to get vertigo anyway, so it was not good. It's just taking me a little bit to get used to these. But so far, I think I'm doing okay now that the nausea is passed, and I just have to be really good about wearing them. I still haven't gotten used to waking up and putting them on first thing. So I have taken to putting them in the sink in the bathroom, so that when I get up in the morning and I go to brush my teeth, oh look, there's my glasses. I have to find little tricks to remind myself to wear them, because I can't just put them on the bedside table because I don't really look there. In the morning, I grab my phone because I've got my alarm on my phone and I snooze it. But that's a whole other story. I have to have 8,000 alarms to go off for me to know that it's time to go to work, because I can get caught up in doing my hair or looking for the right pair of socks or something, and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm late for work. So I have all of these alarms going off, and there's one alarm that goes off that tells me, okay, now you need to leave the house now. So that's the first thing I grab is my phone from the bedside table, but I don't look at anything else because it's still dark, and I don't go back to my bedside table. So yeah, I put my glasses in the sink so I remember, oh, I got to put those on. And I do have to take them off every now and then because it just feels like my eyes are tired. And I'm pretty sure that is just, sorry, I keep playing with my hair because it's growing out a little bit, and I think I need to shave it again because it's starting to get that weird little, like it's too fuzzy. And I just want to rub it. I don't know. It's an odd thing, I know. Anyways, I'm very sidetracked today. I think I still have a little bit of that anxious feeling going on, but it's not terrible right now, but I feel jittery, and I haven't had any coffee today, so that's weird. So anyways, I was talking about my glasses because I was at the library after recording that 30-minute clip for my son's football video. He was still testing, and the school that he was testing at is really close to the public library. So I went into the public library and hung out there, my second favorite place on the whole planet, my local library. So I went in there, and I really only meant to go in and grab next month's Agatha Christie book. But while I was in there, I got, the first thing I did was I stopped at the free cart. I think I've mentioned the free cart that they have before. And I saw this, and mostly I was intrigued by the cover. I can tell that it's a murder mystery because there's a guy laying there. But mostly I was intrigued by the maze. It looks like it's a giant hedge maze. So that's exciting. I don't know what it is about those kinds of mazes. I think it comes from, sounds so weird. It comes from watching The Shining when I was a kid, and that scary hedge maze that the little kid has to run through to get away from his creepy dad. I don't know. I just love giant hedge mazes. Even the one in, what is it, Harry Potter and the Goblets of Fire. That was the one thing I was waiting for. The biggest thing I was waiting for when it went from book to movie was to see the hedge maze on film. So I know it's weird, but anyway, so that's what drew me to this, was that there seems to be some sort of hedge maze on there. So it's called Hindsight by Peter Dickinson. And look at that. First time in paperback. I don't even know when this was written. When was it published? 1983. Oh, it's not that old. I guess I thought it was a little bit older because the pages are yellowing. But that's okay. It's still going to be exciting. I don't know if this is part of a series or if this is a one-off. But I'm excited. So I got that in my free cart. And then, because I just couldn't go home, I knew I had plenty of time to kill, and I wandered around the library, and sometimes, I don't know if how other libraries are, but mine has a lot of books just set up, taken off of the stacks and put randomly placed throughout on top of shelves and whatever. So if you walk by, you see a bunch of books just kind of prominently displayed. And I was somehow managed to get myself into the teen section of the library. And I saw this cover. I have no idea what this is about, and I've never read this author before, Jennifer Donnelly. But I liked the cover, the roses and the weird hand and the wood planks. These shallow grave. So definitely sounds like a murder mystery type thing. But I like the ones that are, I love teen and young adult books. They're written slightly differently, and I don't know, I really like them. There's not a lot of gore and stuff, and I just enjoy that better. I enjoy the story more than overly detailed gory parts. So I found myself getting that, and I thought I had another one. Where is it? Oh, and then I picked up the other one, the Haunted House story, The Whispering by Sarah Rain. I had told you it was the next in the series that I wanted to read as well. So I picked that one up. It was on hold for me. So I got that. Super excited. So yeah, so I haven't actually read a book with these yet. So we'll see how that goes. Because ever since I got them, like I said, I put these in the sink before I lay down for bed, but I read in bed. So I've still been using my readers in bed. That's weird, I know. But, so I haven't actually read a book using these, and I need to just get used to them. It's a work in progress, just like everything else, right? So I'm super excited. My son is coming over. He wants to take me and my mom to go watch the new Halloween movie. Very, very excited by that. I've got lights on my face. How long have those been there? I haven't even noticed because I don't look at myself. Huh, exciting. Anyways, so, yeah, we're going to go see that later. It'll be fun, and it'll be time spent with my mom and my son. And I think my daughter's going too. I think we're all going to just kind of meet up and go together after she gets off of work. So, very, very fun. Oh, and I'm going to have to insert a picture of the finished hat. I did talk about last time. I told you that I got asked to make a hat for my son's girlfriend for her birthday. So I did finish that hat, and I don't have a picture of it on because I didn't want to put it on my head, take a picture of myself. I don't really know why, because I don't know. There's no really reason. I just didn't. And so far I haven't gotten a picture of her wearing it yet, but my son did give it to her, and he said that she really liked it. But I will put a picture. I do have a picture of it laying down, so you can see that. But I did get that one done really quickly. I was super excited about that, and I have a bunch of both of the yarns left over, so that's always nice. Yeah, that's it for now. Yeah, no, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some more work done on one of these things, and I will see you all next week. Hopefully that I don't get a heart attack in the theater. I don't think I will, but just in case, you know what happened. I'll blame it on my son and Michael Myers. So I will see you all next week. Enjoy the time with your friends and family as often as you can. Gather up all those smiles and give them out as well. And I will see you guys next time. Hopefully I have a little bit more done, and hopefully I'm not as anxious and jittery as I am today. I really apologize about that, but it'll pass. It always does. So have a good night. Bye. I'm ready. Drink of Ma Fresca.